The sound was wrong for a birthday. Laughter drifted from the living room. Glasses clinked. Someone had just cut the cake. And behind the wall, behind the locked door of my sister's bedroom, there was another sound, soft, rhythmic, unmistakably human. My hand froze on the handle. For one irrational second, I told myself it was nothing, a prank, a drunken joke, anything but the truth my body already understood. Then I opened the door. My wife was on her knees. My brother-in-law stumbled backward as my fist connected with his jaw. Bone met bone, a wet, final sound. He collapsed against the bed frame like a puppet with its strings cut. Before I could hit him again, the closet door burst open. My sister screamed my name. "Stop, Jake, stop! I need to tell you something, please. Sit down." There was terror in her voice, not for him, for me. I stood there, chest heaving, knuckles burning, watching my wife scramble for her dress like a stranger caught in the wrong life. And that's when my sister said the sentence that pulled the floor out from under reality. It was supposed to be you. The room tilted. Weeks earlier, the first crack had come quietly. A message on my wife's phone that vanished the second I looked at it. A name saved without a number. Late work nights that didn't line up with pay stubs. I didn't confront her. I cataloged. I archived. I waited. That's how I survive things, by pretending not to feel them. The night she came home smelling like a man who wasn't me, she kissed my cheek and asked if I'd missed her. I said no. Not because it was true, because I needed her to stay careless. My sister's birthday became another data point. My wife's nervous smile when my brother-in-law arrived. The way she avoided sitting near him. The way he avoided looking at me. Patterns don't lie. People do. Still, belief is a choice, and I hadn't chosen yet. Until the door. Until my fist. Until my sister's voice, trembling with a truth she'd buried so long it had started to rot her from the inside. She told me everything in pieces, like a confession she'd rehearsed and hated equally. The affair hadn't started with my wife. It had started with her, years ago, before her marriage, before my engagement. A secret, shameful attraction she never acted on, until she did. One night, one mistake. And my wife had found out before I ever could. My wife didn't expose it. She exploited it. She went to my brother-in-law with proof and gave him a choice: destroy his marriage or become hers. He chose silence, and silence became something else. My sister covered her mouth as she spoke, as if the words might still try to escape and ruin her life all over again. "And tonight?" I asked quietly. My wife's eyes were wet, not with regret, with calculation. "He was supposed to be you," my sister whispered. She said you'd finally understand what betrayal feels like." I didn't speak. Shock is loud at first. Then it becomes a vacuum. All sound collapses inward. All feeling compresses into one sharp point. Mine sharpened into clarity. Over the next 2 weeks, I became invisible. I smiled. I went to work. I kissed my wife goodnight. I held my sister when she cried from the stress of what she'd unleashed. And at night, I built a case. I pulled phone records. I traced burner numbers. I hired a man who never asked me why. The truth assembled itself like a crime scene diagram. Call times, locations, hotel charges under business aliases, messages recovered from deleted memory. When I was finished, I didn't feel anger. I felt surgical. I waited for the right moment. It came quietly, on an ordinary evening. Dinner dishes still warm, the hum of the refrigerator in the background. I placed a folder on the table between us. My wife thought it was paperwork. She smiled as she opened it. Then the color drained from her face. Photos, records, maps, the entire anatomy of her deception laid out with dates and times. Her hands shook. "You were never meant to find out like this," she whispered. "I was never meant to find out at all," I replied. She reached for my hand. I pulled it back slowly, as if contact might contaminate me. "I loved you," she said. "No," I corrected. "You used me." She cried then. Real tears. The kind meant to soften consequences. I let them fall. My sister left her husband the same week. The evidence was enough to burn him clean out of the life he'd built. Friends vanished. His job followed. Shame is a thorough executioner. My wife tried to bargain. Then she tried to accuse. Then she tried to break. Nothing moved me. The last time I saw her, she was standing in the doorway with a suitcase in her hand and nothing left in her voice. "Aren't you going to say anything?" she asked. I looked at her the way you look at a storm that already passed. She left without another word. Now the house is quiet. Too quiet for celebration. Sometimes I still hear the echo of that birthday laughter in my head. The sound of a life I never really had.